Last Monday night, for the second week in a row, this season of promise has the potential of turning into another dismal year of Jet football. On a career night for Blair Thomas, you felt the Bears strip away the ball and rip out your heart. You get a reprieve, but the nightmare continues. Pat Leahy doesn't miss chip shots, does he? Was this really happening? What about your quarterback? Can he purge the frustration of the past 2 weeks, the past 9 years? Where do you go from here? Do you come back from the edge, or will that horrible night terminate your dreams of glory? Where do you go from here?
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets.
It is a beautiful 74-degree day in the New Jersey Meadowlands. A capacity crowd better than 76,000 turning out, including the man who once roamed the sideline across the way from our broadcast booth. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Bill Parcells. So where do the Jets go from here? Have they reached the stage where today is a critical game?
Well, Bruce Coslet says it's not, but I think it is, Marv. They played 2 playoff teams from last year very well, but they haven't won. It doesn't make any difference how they play today. They need to win one. The Dolphins do present a good opportunity for them right now.
And last week, the Miami Dolphins just did get by Green Bay. They squeaked by, and they have been struggling. Dan Marino and the Dolphins have had their difficulties as of late. Why has Marino been so ineffective the past 2 games?
I think all the Dolphins' problems go back to training camp. Their offensive line hasn't been together. Marino just does not have the same firepower. They're starting their 3rd tight end in 5 weeks. They haven't thrown the ball to their backs anywhere near as well as they have in the past. And I think, in essence, that's the problem. They're taking Duper and Clayton away, and he just doesn't have anybody else to go to.
Well, the Jets have won the toss, and they will receive. Miami Dolphins with a record of 2 up and 2 down, and the Jets at 1-3. Don Shula, the NFL's winningest active coach in his 29th season as an NFL head man, is 22nd with the Dolphins and now seeking career win number 301. And there is Bruce Coslet, who faced the second guessing right throughout the week. We'll get to that a little bit later on. In his 2nd year as head coach, following a successful career as Sam Wyche's top assistant in Cincinnati. Terrence Mathis and Dale Dawkins waiting for the kickoff from Pete Stoyanovich. Dawkins, 2nd-year man out of Miami, and Terrence Mathis leading the NFL in kickoff return. And here comes Mathis. Good coverage by the Dolphins, who have had their difficulty on special teams, in particular in the absence of the injured Kerry Glenn. Aaron Craver made the stop. And a look at the Jet offensive line. They have played well. In particular, on Monday night, they handled the Bears pass rush extremely effectively. Jets will start out at the 19. Ken O'Brien has not been effective, averaging only 6 yards per pass attempt. He's thrown only 1 touchdown pass his last 119 throws. And Blair Thomas opens up as the single back. Here's Thomas on the draw. So Thomas, on the first play of the game, goes for 24 yards, and here's it from the crowd. Jarvis Williams and Vesty Jackson combined to make the stop.
Well, Blair Thomas, of course, he had that unfortunate fumble the other night, but quite obviously Bruce Coslet hasn't lost any confidence in this guy, and if I were coaching the Jets, I wouldn't either.
You know, Blair was telling us yesterday he's had a lot of interview requests during the week, as you'd expect. He said they'd all start by asking about the matchup with Miami. Maybe ask questions about Penn State, and they kind of worked their way toward the subject of the fumble. A good fake by O'Brien with lots of time, and another first down as he combines with Rob Moore. And that goes for a 21-yard advance. The free safety, Louis Oliver, with the wraps on Moore.
Well, the Jets run a play action here. The same play they just gave it to Thomas. They fake it, and you see 85, Rob Moore coming all the way across behind the Dolphin linebacker number 51, Brian Cox, and O'Brien lays it over very nicely. They've scored in the zone already.
Sharp start by the Jets. First down at the Miami 35-yard line. Another nice hole, this time on the left side for Thomas. Jarvis Williams on the tackle, checking out the Dolphins defensive unit. Up front, Oglesby, Sauché, and Cross. The Dolphins with injury problems at the nose tackle position. We'll also see the rookie Chuck Klingbeil later on. And the secondary with Magruder and Jackson at the corners. The deep men Williams and Oliver, and Vesty Jackson has had his difficulties in recent weeks. J.B. Brown, last year's starter, a holdout, unhappy that he has not been able to get back into the lineup. And the penalty flags are thrown. The referee today is Jerry Austin. The Jets are the most penalized team in the NFL. They have been hit for 305 total yards.
There is no foul on the play. The ball was turned, and when the center turned it over, there is no foul.
As I said, the Jets are on top. Miami, though, number 26 with only 138 penalty yards.
Well, that's something that'll keep you from scoring. You know, we've done some studies on that. Penalties help the other team score and keep you from scoring if you get them on offense.
And Brad Baxter, the ball carrier. Was that an intensive study that was done, Bill?
As a matter of fact, Marv, I'm going to be a little more specific for you.
Obviously.
We did a study over a 4-year period that if you got a defensive penalty, the opponent scored over 90% of the time against you.
All right.
At any time during a drive. 5 yards, 10 yards, 15-yard penalty. They scored 90% of the time.
Jets first down at the 23-yard line with 2.5 gone by in this opening quarter. Again, it's Thomas leading his way. John Offerdahl made the stop. Bruce Coslett was telling us at practice yesterday, if he could do it all over again, he would not have done anything differently concerning the 2 major decisions he made in the Monday night game against Chicago. Do you agree?
I agree 100%. I think you never give the ball back to your opponent unless you have to. He was trying to get a first down to keep from having to give the ball back, and the discussion should end there because he used the exact right strategy, in my mind.
Second down and 4 from the 18. It's Thomas running well. You're not just protecting a former fellow
no.
coach. You're saying there's no other decision.
No other decision. You don't kneel down twice and say you're going to punt the ball. You know how many things can go wrong in a punting situation? A bad snap, a muffed snap by the kicker, a missed block, a punt return. There are 5 or 6 things that can go wrong that you don't even have to go through if you just run the clock up. That's what he was trying to do.
It's a 3rd and 3 at the 17. And O'Brien with the wide open Rob Moore for the touchdown. A fast start for the Jets on this opening drive. They cap it off on a 17-yard touchdown pass. Ken O'Brien with only his 2nd touchdown of the season. Rob Moore with his 2nd. And the Jets go 7 plays for 82 yards. Here is Pat Leahy. .406 gone by in the first quarter as Ken O'Brien hooks up with Rob Moore, the 2nd-year player from Syracuse. The Jets 7 and the Dolphins nothing. We'll be back at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands in just a moment. 7-0 lead. Oliver in a chat with John Offerdahl. So they pick up the touchdown in 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Louis Aguilar getting set to kick it away to the combination of Mark Logan and the rookie from Fresno State, Aaron Craver. kickoff. Craven on the return, out to the 20. And brings across the 25-yard line, and some extracurricular activity. Tony Stargell made the stop. And here's another look at that touchdown pass from O'Brien to Moore.
Well, here you see Mike Magruder there. He's supposed to be covering Moore. What happens is this tight end runs in the flat. The linebacker goes with him. Moore comes underneath for the touchdown, and Magruder doesn't even react to the pass at all. You see Moore breaking underneath, and Magruder's off in 10 yards. That's just a missed assignment there.
Miami with Dan Marino at quarterback, first down from the 28, and he comes up throwing, in trouble, able to get it away. A bullet thrown to Greg Beatty. So Greg Beatty starting at tight end. One-time Patriot, one-time Giant. You had him briefly.
Yes, I did, Mark. We had him in training camp 2 years ago. The competition was a little strong for him, and we had to let him go, but he made it till the final cut, and I'm glad he's hooked on here at Miami.
Well, he picked up the first down. As you look at the Miami offensive set, the offensive line has had its problems. Richmond Webb still rusty coming off the bad knee. Harry Galbraith reported late. He was a holdout. Here's Mark Higgs. And he has smothered the strong safety Brian Washington, combining with the left defensive end Marvin Washington. As mentioned earlier, we will see some of Sammy Smith, who had been on IR with a knee injury. He says also he's still a little bit on the rusty side. There's Sammy Smith. Mark Higgs opening up strong, in particular over the first 3 games. It's a 2nd and 9 at the 41. It's the Jets 7 and the Dolphins nothing. Higgs running left and gets out to the 47, tripped up by James Hasty. A look at the Jet defensive unit. Bill Packel starting for the injured Scott Mercereau, inactive today because of a sprained ankle, and Bruce Coslett telling us he'll go with a combination of Packel and Paul Fraze. Jeff Lageman having his best year as a pro. And in the secondary, Stargell and Hasty at the corners, and Washington and Young on the deep man. Lonnie Young has played well in taking over the starting assignment from Eric McMillan. This crowd into it early. 3rd down and 3.
Marino's calling an audible here.
Short set, and Marino able to complete for the first down to Mark Clayton, who was a question mark for today's game because of a groin injury. Stargell and Washington made the stop on Clayton, who picked up 12 yards.
Well, in talking to Dan Marino, there were certain defensive alignments the Jets that he expected from the Jets that he was going to be forced to audibilize against, and one of them was an 8-man front. And he's not going to attempt to run too much against that 8-man front. He's going to call the audible.
He's looking at a first down at the 41. 7 minutes gone by in the first quarter. Play action fake. And Marino incomplete. A hard hit on Clayton, not allowing the reception. Tony Stargell made the play, and they are involved in a heated conversation.
Well, Clayton's been into it twice already in the game. Here you see him coming across the field. This is a zone defense. Stargell shifts off on him, hits him a little early. They don't call interference, though.
You think that should have been interference?
It was awful close to being interference. You can't hit him early.
2nd and 10 from the 41. Jets 7, Dolphins nothing. Marv Albert, Bill Parcells from Giant Stadium. Marino able to complete to Higgs, just shy of the first down. Stargell there for the stop. When we talked with Dan Marino at practice yesterday, his eyes lit up when he thought the Jets might play some man-to-man.
Well, Marino's not a guy that many people will take too many man-to-man chances against, and specifically blitz chances. We kind of expect the Jets to maybe do that a little bit today, and I think Marino was looking forward to that. He would much prefer to play against man-to-man than zone defense.
3rd down and 1. Higgs tripped up. The Dolphins feel they've picked up the first down. The free safety, Lonnie Young, made the stop. That is the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets, Pete Carroll. After the Bears appeared to score in overtime Monday night when both clubs headed off the field on that wild scene, even though the play was being reviewed, Pete was telling us he remained. He actually ended up mingling on the sideline with the Bears to see what they were going to do. They had no idea who he was. He ended up next to the Bears' Jay Hilgenberg, who called out the play, and Pete said to him, hey, good idea.
Yeah, he was trying to find out what the Bears were going to do. Sometimes when the clock stopped like that and there's all this confusion after the game, he was just hanging around, and Hilgenberg mentioned running a quarterback sneak, so Carroll was able to call a defense for the quarterback sneak. Unfortunately, it didn't work.
Right, Pete ran back to the Jet sideline and was ready to defend against the play. But
well, he's very youthful looking too, Mark. You know, he could have been a ball boy or something. Hilgenberg might not have recognized that Jet jersey. He had a little disguise on. He's a young guy. He might have thought he was a water boy or something.
Ninth play of the drive. It's a 2nd and 10 at the Jet 30. 6.5 to go. In this first quarter, the Jets 7, the Dolphins nothing. Reno had it deflected, and it is caught. Brett Beatty able to follow the tip, or was it one of the offensive linemen? Let's see.
Keith Sims.
Now Keith Sims it is, okay. The left guard, Keith Sims, off the deflection, and that is a legal play.
Yes, it is. Once the ball's tipped, anybody can catch it. And there's Sims. The ball comes right down on top of him, makes a nice reception, puts it away, and advances it. I'd hate to be those guys trying to tackle him now. He's well over 300.
Yes, 6'2", 305. Coming off a superb rookie season out of Iowa State. It's a 3rd down and 1 at the 21. Back to the ground, and Higgs has the first down. Lonnie Young made the stop. Mark Higgs goes, at least listed on the roster, at 5'7", 195 pounds. We chatted with Mark yesterday, and you asked him how, I don't know if you're quizzing him. You don't trust these guys at all, Bill.
Not the short guys. You never trust them.
Nice.
Two weeks ago, you know, he told us he was 5'7" and 3/4, and yesterday he told us was 5'7" and a half. So, you know, they're so used to lying about how tall they are that they can't remember what they said to us. So he was about a half. You know, if we got him a month from then, he'd be down to 5'3".
First down at the 19, and Higgs took a hard hit. He's tough to bring down. He runs very low, very strong, and was able to pick up ground with the second effort. Mike Grimm made the stop. He went for 6 on the play. A look at the ITT 10-minute ticker. Fourth quarter, Buffalo in front of Chicago. The Giants beaten again. New Orleans with another victory to go 5-0. Detroit walloping Tampa Bay 31-3. And these are the late games. Second down play. Make it a 2nd and 6 down to the 15. Page and Higgs now are the running backs. And Marino fires one over the head of Clayton.
Well, the Jets are a team that uses a corners over defense where they match up on the wide receivers. Their corners always go. And Hasty and Clayton are going to be in the big battle this afternoon. Hasty was telling us yesterday how physically strong that Mark Clayton is, and that he thinks the only way to play Clayton is to match him physically and try to rough him up. And we asked him how he intended to do that, and he said he was going to be mad when he came out of the tunnel. So.
Yes, he likes to get into that angry mentality. This crowd urging the Jet defense on. 3rd down and 6. Marino incomplete. It is intended for James Pruitt. A recent addition to the squad signed last week, replacing the injured Fred Banks, who had been released. Pruitt had been released by Minnesota, then was re-signed by Miami for the 3rd time. And so the field goal unit has come on this 4th down and 6. The Jets able to hold the Dolphins. Pete Stoyanovich, young man who loves to kick here at Giant Stadium, had his career high 59-yarder here against the Jets. Also had a 51-yard field goal here. This from 33 yards away with Scott Sears putting it down. And Stoyanovich puts it through to make it 6 for 6 on the season. 4 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. First quarter, the Jets 7 and the Dolphins 3. Morning. The Dolphins going 14 plays, but they have to settle for 3 points on a 33-yard field goal by Stoyanovich. Dale Dawkins and Terrence Mathis back for the kickoff. And it's Mathis from his goal line. Again, good coverage by the Dolphins, spearheaded by Bobby Harden. 4:03 to go in this first quarter. It's the Jets 7 and Miami 3. Pre-sell that special teams play after losing the starting job to Lonnie Young was shaken up on that kickoff return, but apparently was all right, and the Jets start out from their 15. They lead the Dolphins by the score of 7-3. Another play fake by O'Brien, beautifully executed for Rob Moore. So Ken O'Brien, who Bruce Coslett had said has not looked as sharp as he would like, has looked very sharp here at the start. He's 3 for 3 for 54 yards.
Well, O'Brien with the 3 tight end formation in, fakes the play action, of course. That is a running formation normally, and it looks like O'Brien's main guy today is going to be Moore. That's his 3rd reception already, and he's gotten the ball out there to him very well a couple of times.
Altoon is to the right, and Rob Moore left with his first down from the 31. It's back to the ground for Thomas. John Offerdahl making the stop.
Well, the Jets are starting to the left, and then Thomas is looking to cut back to that right side. You know, that's where they made that trade. I think a very good trade for the Jets. Irv Eatman, who's taking that right tackle spot. Thomas starting left and then going back to Eatman and White on the right side, and that's definitely the stronger side on the Jets offensive line.
Irv acquired from Kansas City last February for defensive end Ron Stallworth. And here's Blaine Thomas, a fake reverse, and he decided to take it by himself, and he's hit for a loss. So the Dolphins handled that very well. Combination of Offerdahl with Griggs combining to make the stop.
Well, this is the first play that the Dolphins have really put a stop to. The Jets fake a reverse here, and the Dolphins there's everybody's over there to help on that tackle. And this is the thing that Jeff Cross and John Offerdahl both said yesterday in our meeting with them. They have to control the Jets running it. So far, they haven't done a very good job of that.
That's second in the NFL in most rushing attempts. They have run extremely well. Now a 3rd down, 10. O'Brien going sideline for the tight end Mark Boyer, but he's short of the first down. Covered by the left corner, Michael Magruder. And the punting unit will check in. Miami has won the last 3 meetings against the Jets. They won the last 2 at Giant Stadium. The last Jet win over Miami at home back in 1988, a 48-34 shootout here at Giant Stadium. They've certainly had their share of shootouts. Both Marino and O'Brien have some heady statistics in this series. Aguiar with the punt. Scott Miller let it go, and it carries out of bounds at the 32. Aguiar has had his difficulties. He's hearing it from the crowd. Had his best game Monday night in Chicago, but he has struggled. With a man very familiar with these surroundings, Bill Parcells. Incidentally, Bill, I received a call from a Los Angeles area real estate agent pointing out that values are just excellent in the Anaheim area.
Oh, those rumors, Marv, I'll tell you.
Here's Marino going sideline and has the first down, combining with Clayton Hasty on the stop. Also some real estate agent from Tampa Bay call. I don't know why they're bothering me with these problems. I say Bill is just so happy here in the broadcast booth.
I can hardly stand it up here with you. It's so great, Mark. You know, every week, and you know, I learn an awful lot about basketball up here. You know, it's fun.
It's a first down at the 44 with just under 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. And the Jets lead the Dolphins by the score of 7-3. Marino over the middle for Clayton. So Mark Clayton has been a factor here in the first quarter. Washington and Brim on the stop. Brim coming on for Tony Stargell, who has departed with a twisted ankle. And that pass play goes for 16 yards.
Well, you see Clayton on Brim here, and this is a zone defense, and Clayton just runs a quick slant. Marino gets it to him. Now, Hasty is going to match up with Clayton on the long yardage situations, but on the regular defense, they're going to stay on their respective sides, so they can get Clayton on Brim anytime they want to.
Clayton to the right, and Cooper left. Time running down in this first quarter. First down at the 40. Here's Higgs. Guarding his way. Oh, what a run by Mark Higgs to the 30-yard line for a first down. Lonnie Young and Mo Lewis combined to make the stop. And that is the end of the first quarter. After one at Giant Stadium, it's the Jets 7 and Miami 3.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Of New York area support for Don Shula. His first ever win came on September the 23rd, 1963. When Bill, even you were a child.
Still in college, playing football, my senior year in college. 300 wins. There's not many guys around that really know how hard that is to do, but you're sitting next to one of them.
It's a 2nd and 1. They changed the spot on that last run by Higgs, short of the first down as we get underway in the second quarter. And Marino pumping one deep. Touchdown! Dan Marino and Mark Duper combining. So Dan Marino, who had gone 2 games without a touchdown throw, gets off the schneid.
Well, he's got Duper against Brim this time. Now, Don Shula's the kind of coach, when he sees someone come in the game, it goes back to the old theory. Coach Landry used to do it. Shula does it. You bring a substitute in the game, they're going to check that guy out. And they've done it pretty well so far. They match up Duper there, and that was really an easy touchdown for the Dolphins.
Stoyanovich will attempt the extra point. Marino now 7 for 11, 100 yards. So the Dolphins have taken a 10-7 lead on the Jets in the opening seconds of the second. Mobile, Bill, apparently going astray, ran into the netting. That's the netting that prevents kicks from carrying into the stands. Little problem back in the end zone.
Yeah, they have those mobiles all over the league now. Some guy came out with a model, and everybody wound up buying one. And
you sound annoyed. You sound like you're annoyed at it.
Well, I don't like that peripheral stuff around the jet mobile.
Dawkins and Mathis, the deep out of his Mathis on the return. You don't like the jetmobile, huh? We'll deal with that a little bit later. This is a subject I really want to get into. Here's Bob with an update.
It does sound like a fascinating topic, Marv. Dan McGuire, making his first NFL start, didn't throw a pass for the Seahawks on their touchdown drive in the first quarter. John L. Williams finishes it with a 6-yard run. Since then, McGuire has thrown 3 times. One of them was picked off in the end zone. It's 7-0 Seahawks over the Colts.
All right, Bob. 1st and 10 from the 26, and Blair Thomas is turned back. Prior to that touchdown pass from Marino to Duper, Marino had gone 9 quarters without throwing a touchdown. Mike Reichenbach made the stop. A look at the Fram 10-minute ticker. These are final scores. I know Jeff Hostetler had some pretty good statistics, but they did not come up with the W.
Oh, that's a very disappointing loss for the Giants, without question. You know, division game, team they've beaten 6 in a row. You know, that's one that they think will want to get over.
Is it Phil Simms waiting in the wings there?
Well, you know, I haven't seen enough practice. I'm sure he's waiting in the wings. But
Al Toon, who was a question mark, practiced only 1 day this week, missed most of Monday night's game with a strained rib muscle, but he made the catch on the coverage of Vesty Jackson, and he picked up a first down.
Well, Toon just runs a little stop route against the Miami zone there, and that's an easy throw and catch for O'Brien. The only thing you have to avoid is getting the ball tipped down at the line of scrimmage by the outside linebacker.
And Ken O'Brien has opened at 5 for 5 for 76 yards. The Jets first down from their 38. O'Brien getting the time. Goes the short route with Thomas. Across the 45, met by John Offerdahl. Back to the subject of Al Toon. He has denied a report that claimed he wants to be traded by the October 8th deadline. According to the report, Toon told friends that it was more fun playing for Joe Walton than Bruce Coslett. Supposedly, the crux of the matter, Coslett screamed at Toon for running an incorrect pass pattern in practice last week. Now, this may have been blown out of proportion, but Toon has admitted that he told his agent he would be receptive to a trade. Here's O'Brien for Toon. Oh, what a catch! Inside the 30.
Well, Toon's off inside against the corner Vesti Jackson, and O'Brien just lays it up. Jackson just isn't tall enough to jump that high, and Toon comes down with the reception and takes a big hit from Oliver.
Aside from the leaping ability of Al Toon, he has a good 4 inches on Vesti Jackson, who has had his difficulties. 24-yard pickup. And here's Brad Baxter.
The Miami defense has not come close to stopping the Jets so far here. Almost every play looks like it's going to break, and Kenny O'Brien has thrown the ball very accurately today. I mean, it was a little high on Monday night against the Bears a couple of times. Well, he's throwing it very accurately today, and the receivers are coming up with some good catches for him, too. 7 for 7. Now, you can't do any better than that.
Second down and 5 at the 24. 3.5 gone by second quarter. Dolphins lead the Jets 10-7. The tight end Boyer in motion, and a penalty flag is down.
That's the right tackle, Brett Miller. Now, he alternates with Eatman for a series or two every game.
Now, number 72, false start, 5 yards, still second down.
And this is what can happen. There, you know, here you see on the right side Brett Miller right there, and he's in the game for the first time. He's going to rotate some series with Eatman, who they want to give a little rest to. Both of those guys have bad knees, and they think by using both of them they can get through the season. But of course, he's not used to O'Brien's voice today, and he's offside.
Well, O'Brien does have a cold, and perhaps that's it. He's screaming away in hoarse fashion. First penalty of the game in a fast-moving contest, and that time O'Brien went high, intended for Baxter. Brian Cox on the covers. That's the first incompletion for Ken O'Brien.
What you see what that penalty can do right there. They had tremendous offensive momentum going. All of a sudden you get the penalty. Now O'Brien throws the ball high, and I'm not saying that that's what caused it, but there is a rhythm that does develop in football, and when it's altered, sometimes you can't get it back for a little while.
Third down and about 9 coming up. And the Jets only 2 of 25 in third down situations of 7 or more yards.
And Miami zones this one.
O'Brien able to get away. And he's hit down way short of the first down. Bobby Harden made the stop. I should point out you supply that graphic through intensive study.
Well, thank you very much, Mark. But Kenny O'Brien really makes a smart play here. He's in the scoring zone. He's almost sacked. He gets out of trouble. Now his receivers are covered, and he's looking right down the middle of the field. But instead of throwing the ball up for grabs, possible interception, he just takes the loss, and he's still in field goal range.
And this is a 44-yard attempt, and a very important one for the head of Pat Leahy, who missed from 28 in overtime on Monday night. He was 2 for 4 against the Bears. Aguilar puts it down, and Leahy's kick. It hit the upright. So from 44 yards away, Pat Leahy hit the right upright. Pat Leahy has been so candid about his miss on Monday night. He said it was just a lousy kick, as Pat put it. And everyone had felt so bad for him. He's one of the more popular players on the Jets. 6-yard line, 5 minutes gone by. In the second quarter, the Dolphins with a 10-7 lead on the Jets. And Marino throws it away. Sammy Smith in the area. He has been spotted in this first half. Both quarterbacks are off to quick starts. O'Brien 7 for 8 for 109 yards. And you see Marino 7 for 12 for 100 yards. They've each thrown a touchdown.
Well, the defenses haven't been able to settle down. Both offenses have kept the respective defenses off balance. And the defense just, neither one of them are in any kind of continuity playing stage.
And Sammy Smith hit behind the line by Dennis Byrd. Smith has been on injured reserve. He's had a knee problem. He came on strong at the end of last season, although he did have some fumbling problems throughout the year.
Well, that's a draw play, and they're trying to get Sammy into the game, and of course Byrd just too deep in the backfield. Smith never had a chance on that play.
It's a third down and 15.
You'd be expecting a zone defense from the Jets here against Marino in this situation.
Marino rolling to his left and goes short range, very close to the marker. Able to complete to the one-time Jet, Tony Martin, who was a fifth-round draft pick of the Jets back in '89. He was stopped by the strong safety Brian Washington. And the Dolphins are short of the first down.
Well, Marino rolls out to get himself a little more time, and there he hits Tony Martin and just misses the first down by about a yard. And you know, that's a really bad play there by the Jet defense, because now they let Miami out of a very poor punting situation, and Miami can get good field position back with this guy punting. Rick Roby, the #1 guy in the league right now, 49-2.
Oh, he handled a high snap with beauty and good coverage on Terrence Mathis. Brian Cox with the pop, a 50-yard punt by Roby and a 6-yard return. So the Jets back to the offense when we come back. Coach Bruce Coslett, is this a critical game? He said he doesn't feel it's a must-win, but he said it's close to that status. Brett Baxter with a short pickup. Brian Cox makes the stop. I don't think a head coach will ever admit that there's a must-win situation, in particular, 5th game of the season. But Bill, I'd have to say this is pretty close. They've lost 2 very difficult games. And as we mentioned right at the start, what are they? They're losing better. I don't know what that's worth. They have to start showing victory.
Well, he said that he acknowledged his team's effort was good, but that good is not going to be enough for very long. And this week, you know, he said he was worried about breakdowns, not letdowns, and quite obviously the Jets are ready to play today.
It's a 2nd down and 6. O'Brien with the bullet intended for Moore. He was covered by Magruder. Michael Magruder spent 3 years with Saskatchewan in the Canadian Football League, a standout in Canada. He is number 28, providing the coverage on Rob Moore.
Well, Moore, again, is quite obviously the guy O'Brien really wants today. This is a play-action pass, but Kenny's behind Moore. You have to lead him out in front so he can catch it in stride. That one kind of got away from Kenny. He put it behind. Now, Moore almost made a good adjustment to catch it, but really, he didn't have a very good opportunity to catch that one. 3 wides in the ball game now
For this 3rd down and 6.
They like to use Mathis in the slot in this case.
O'Brien in trouble and nearly was picked off. Mark Boyer, the intended receiver.
Mathis was the guy they were trying to go to, but he was double covered by the Miami defensive backs, and Boyer was the secondary receiver. He didn't have time to get it to him.
Aguiar has come out to punt. He heard it from the crowd. His last punt went only 27 yards. Louis Aguiar beat out Joe Prokop during preseason, although Prokop was plagued by a series of injuries. Scott Miller, the rookie from UCLA, is back deep. And this is a good punt. And it's muffed by Miller, who is able to cover up. 46-yard punt. Chris Burkett on the coverage, and Miller very fortunate that it took the good Dolphin hop.
Well, the Jets have wide receivers covering the punts, and that's a very unusual situation. Here you see Miller drop it, but fortunately was able to get it.
Down from the 28 with 7.5 remaining in the first half. The tight end Beatty in motion. Marino again with the time and throws over the head of Mark Clayton.
Well, here's a good battle here on the left side of Miami's offense. Richmond Webb against Jeff Lageman, and of course Webb runs him by Marino that time, but this Lageman's off to his best start of his career, and Webb's just getting back into it, so look for that battle to continue the rest of the way today.
Jeff Lageman, 3 sacks the last 2 games. Drafted as a linebacker, he has come on very strong this season at defensive end. 2nd and 10. Back to the ground. It has not worked on the ground for Miami. Mark Higgs, second leading rusher in the AFC behind Thurman Thomas of Buffalo, with a short pickup. Lageman and Washington combining to make the stop. Mark Higgs has been a Plan B specialist. One time an 8th round draft pick of the Dallas Cowboys, then on to the Eagles and Miami. This is 2nd year with Miami. Had a chance to go Plan B prior to this season, but said he'd had enough movement and decided to come back to the Dolphins. Tony Stargell, bothered by a twisted ankle, is checked back in at left corner. 3rd down and 8 at the 30. Marino stepping up and hold down. First sack of the day. Marvin Washington with his first of the season.
The Jets modified their rush a little bit that time. They rushed one linebacker. You see Lonnie Young, who's really a linebacker type in this nickel defense. Even though he plays safety, he's rushing. The coverage is tight. Marino can't find anyone, and they come up with the sack. But really, that was a 5-man rush instead of the traditional 4-man rush. They must feel they can't get to him with the 4-man rush.
Miami has now been sacked 10 times this season. And Roby, who got off the 50-yarder, again takes a high snap. And this time, line drives it. Mathis in pursuit. Mathis running out along the Miami sideline, and Roby gets credit for a 49-yard punt. J.B. Brown on the coverage. Roby a bit upset with himself. He had a sensational game last week against Green Bay. Averaged just under 53 yards a punt. Next Sunday, NBC Sports will present an NFL doubleheader beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live, and then some of you will see the Jets play the Browns in Cleveland. Others will see a shootout between two of football's premier quarterbacks, John Elway and the Broncos, going up against Warren Moon and the Oilers. Blair Thomas out across the 40-yard line. 6:15 remaining in this first half. Capacity crowd at Giant Stadium, better than 76,000, have turned out for the Jets and the Dolphins. Jets with a 7-0 lead on their very first drive. O'Brien to Moore to cap it off on a 17-yard touchdown pass. Stoyanovich hit a 33-yard field goal to trim it to 7-3. Marino and Duper combined on a 30-yard pass play for a 10-7 lead, and Leahy missed a 44-yard field goal, hit the right upright. Marv Alvin with Bill Parcells. And a penalty marker is down. Good catch by Thomas for a first down, but let's see what the flag is all about.
Penalty marker on the play.
It has been a low-key game in terms of penalties to this point. Illegal motion at the snap indicated against the
Illegal motion, go right in, 5 yards, repeat, 2nd down.
Well, Bruce Coslet's a little upset with that because, again, this is the same situation. You got a good momentum drive going. You just converted to another first down, and then you get one of these things. Now you're in a 2nd and extra long situation, which is the way the Dolphins like to play. They 2nd and long, they drop back in that deep zone, and they give the Jets some problems here. So it's just, you know, these little things that are keeping the Jets from from scoring in proportion to the way they're moving the ball. They're moving the ball well and have all year.
Second down and 11. Baxter on the reception. Brian Cox, the rookie from Illinois, making the stop as you check out the 10-minute ticker. Kansas City with the lead on San Diego. Green Bay in front of the LA Rams. Phoenix and New England tied at 7, and Seattle in front of Indianapolis 10-0 as the Ron Meyer countdown continues.
And New England looking for their second in a row after that big upset over Houston.
Now, you would not be happy in Indianapolis. I know you like some of the people there, but Bill, you don't seem to be an Indy type of guy. I should point that out. Here's Rob Moore, able to break the tackle for a first down. Four catches, 66 yards for Moore.
Well, quite obviously, Moore is the guy today for O'Brien. He's just working, stopping. The ball's there. Missed tackle allows the first down to take place. It's okay to give the guy a short reception, but Magruder needs to be a short tackler to prevent those first downs.
The Jets now first down at the Miami 46-yard line as we come up on 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Thomas and the Dolphins all over him, led by Alfred Oglesby and the strong safety Jarvis Williams. For Miami, this is the first of 3 straight games on the road. The Jets, New England, and then Kansas City. And according to Harvey Green, the Dolphins crack public relations director, the Dolphins will travel more miles during the 91 season than any other team in the NFL. Round trip, they'll compile close to 40,000 miles. Bill, can the players collect frequent flyer mileage?
I don't know, but that can affect your wins and losses. You practice them in that hot weather all year, and then having to fly all the time. People don't realize how exhausting that is. That can affect your team, too much travel.
Offerdahl and Oglesby combining on the stop of Blair Thomas. There's the exact count, 39,294 miles. One of the many tidbits you can pick up if you are fortunate enough to be on the Miami Dolphin mailing list.
Well, that Japan trip was about 14,000 of that, so, you know.
So you're saying it's kind of a stretch. It's not that bad a schedule. It's a third down and 5 with just under 3 minutes remaining in the first half. O'Brien, nice catch by Moore, and it's a Jet first down. And Ken O'Brien continues to be right on target. He's 10 for 13 for 135 yards.
Well, at this rate, Moore is good, maybe a contender for the NFL record today, because he seems like the recipient of every O'Brien pass, and certainly every key pass.
That is 5th reception of the day. Freeman McNeil has come on. McNeil in the backfield with Baxter. First down at the Miami 33. The Dolphins 10 and the Jets 7 in a quick-moving first half. O'Brien with lots of time. Oh, beautiful catch by Chris Burkett. First catch of the day for Burkett, who's played well. That went for 22, and he did it against the strong safety, number 26, Jarvis Williams.
Well, Chris Burkett is a guy, in talking to Coach Kozlet, that seems to have kind of found a home here after moving around. The problems are well documented up in Buffalo and with Kelly, and now he's down here, and last year he wasn't that settled down, but he came in, no problems, and he's having his best year without question. He's really helping the Jets.
The Jets on first down plays have averaged better than 9 yards per play.
But more important than that, Kenny O'Brien, Marv, is averaging 11.2 per pass attempt. Now, his regular season average per pass attempt is only 6 yards, so he's almost twice as good today as he's been all year.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. Brad Baxter looking to turn it. Stopped at the line by Michael Magruder and David Griggs. Griggs coming up from his outside linebacker position. David Griggs last November had a strong one against the Jets. His best game of his NFL career, 6 tackles, 2.5 sacks. Brad Baxter, excellent blocker who has surprised the coaches by his improved play in his second year out of Alabama State. Jets now second and about 8 with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go first half. Baxter peeling off. O'Brien, and it is completed to Toon. And we'll have to see where they mark his progress. Now Toon gang tackled and some chatter between the Dolphins and the Jets. Louis Oliver leading the assault, and now more than chatter. Things getting a bit testy. And O'Brien in the midst of it all. He was going at Richard Dent of the Bears Monday night pretty good.
Well, it's important that the players know that your quarterback will fight if he has to. I think it's a thing that shows leadership and shows toughness. And, you know, everybody always kind of wonders whether how tough your quarterback is. This guy's tough enough, believe me.
10th play of the drive. Clock is running. It's a 3rd and 1. Down at the 2. Jets do have their 3 timeouts, and now they use one of them. So they take a timeout. Miami with its 3, and we'll take a break. Back after this. For Cincinnati Bengals, a bye week for the AFC Central. Boomer sitting it out.
I bet they wish they didn't have a bye week. When you're 0-4, you want to play. You want to beat somebody just to get that negativism off your back.
Too early, I think, for the off week. 5th week of the season. 3rd down and 1. The 2, McMillan Baxter in the backfield. He's got in motion. Here is Baxter backing his way for the touchdown. Driving move by Brad Baxter, led by the combination of the tight end Boyer with the right tackle Eatman and Matic. So with 38 seconds remaining in this first half, the Jets recapture the lead. And Pat Leahy will attempt the extra point. Jets now lead the Dolphins 14-10. We'll be right back. 7 seconds. Jets lead the AFC in the category of time of possession, averaging 34 minutes a game over the first 4 weeks. Aaron Craver on the return. Across the 20-yard line, Don Boyd Odegaard made the stop. And here's another look at that Jet touchdown to give them the 14-10 lead on Miami.
Well, the 2 best blockers they have are Irv Eatman and Dwayne White. You see them both start off on the defensive end. Then White just slips back and gets his body on the linebacker, and Baxter has a crease, and he's right in. But those are the 2 guys to run behind. They've been doing it all year, and I think they're going to stay with it.
John Galvin, strong special teams player, in his 4th season out of Boston College, shaken up on that return by Craver. 34 seconds to go in this first half, and the Jets with a 14-10 lead on Miami. Here are the final scores from earlier. Buffalo over Chicago, so Buffalo now 5-0, and the Bears go to 4-1. Dallas beating the Giants, who dropped to 2-3.
Don't show me that again.
New Orleans defeating Atlanta. So Jim Mora's club now 5-0, and Detroit over Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay 0-5. Detroit now 4-1 down. Lions have not lost since week 1. And the later games of the half, Raiders in front of San Francisco. Kansas City now leads San Diego in the second quarter. Green Bay with a 7-6 lead on the Los Angeles Rams. New England and Phoenix tied at 7. And Seattle has increased its lead in the second quarter in front of the Indianapolis Colts by the score of 17-0.
Well, you know, I think the interesting thing about that Detroit team is, you know, at the end of preseason and after the first week, Well, the 45-0 loss to the Redskins, everybody was ready to write them off. And now here they are tied for the division lead after 5 weeks. So, you know, it just goes to show you what appears to be one way coming out of training camp really can be a lot different a few weeks down the road.
It has been a long time between victories for the Dallas Cowboys over your former club, the Giants.
Well, I'm sure they're happy to win that one because they've had problems beating the Giants and the Eagles. Those are the two teams that they haven't been able to beat in Jimmy Johnson's tenure there. So,
well, it looks like Galvin is all right. Now, Bill, I put you on truth serum here. Do you go home and you take the Giant game? Do you watch the game?
No, I don't. As a matter of fact, I've only seen one game, and that was the first game of the year, the Monday night game. I haven't had the good fortune to see it.
And you've been studying the color commentators when you watch the games these days.
Yes, I have.
Of course.
Guys like you.
It's a first down from the 22. Down to a half minute to go in this first half. It is incomplete. Intended for Duper. And Odegaard on the stop. I mentioned the stats. Hostetler, 28 for 34, 368 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Does Ray Handley have a decision here this week to make?
Oh, I don't think so. You know, Hostetler quite obviously threw the ball very well today, but it's the point total that has to concern him. You know, when you're averaging under 16 points a game in this league, you're not going to win too many games. Got to get it over 20, 24, 27. That's what wins for you.
And Marino airs one out. Can we get the shot of the booth once again? One thing has been bothering me, Bill.
Just one thing?
No, really. I mean, a little makeup would have taken care of this little cut here. You need the fight doctor, I think. You need a cut man.
Ferdy? Should we bring Ferdy over?
What are you doing to yourself?
Well, you never know. You cut yourself up. You're nervous. I'm coming on the telecast with you. You know I got to be up to speed to even stay at the same level with you. So I got a little nervous this morning when I was shaving. I cut myself.
Comes in here dripping with blood. It's a tough business.
It's a vampire look.
Whoa. 24 seconds remaining of the half. Marino has a 3rd and 10 at the 22. And he fires one deep. Lonnie Young providing the coverage on Mark Duper. Out of 18 seconds to go in the half. And Roby will come on. Miami with only 132 total yards. Their running game in the first half shut down. 8 rushes, 20 yards, and Marino looks to be upset.
He is a little upset. He had 3 timeouts, and you know, if he could have hit one pass there, he had time to work down into field goal range, and he knew that. But he got a little frustrated that he couldn't get anything going at all and use, at least a couple of those timeouts to pressure the Jets right here at the half.
Marino 8 for 17, 114 yards. Here's Reggie Roby on for the 3rd time. Leads the AFC 2nd in the NFL in punts inside the post block. Chris Burkett runs it in. Difficulties with the snap. That was his 3rd snap, and all 3 have been poor. We'll have to check that one out as Chris Burkett was able to run it in off the block. Leahy drills it through, and with only 12 seconds remaining in the half, the Jets now lead the Dolphins 21-10.
Well, the Jets are a team that's fortunate to have wide receivers like Burkett who can excel on special teams. It's very unusual to see wide receivers blocking punts like this. He got by the fullback, and of course now he recovers it himself and scores with it. But the Jets, Dawkins and Burkett, are two special teams guys that the Jets use as punt cover guys and punt blockers. And it's a big luxury to have receivers doing these defensive type jobs on your team. It gives you a lot of depth. I also believe, Marv, that this is the first actual block punt in the NFL this year. I know that that New England kicked one into the fullback a couple of weeks ago against Pittsburgh, but to my knowledge, this is the first block punt of the NFL season.
That was Brian Wagner, who was cut the following week. After that errant punt. The crowd reacting to the Jets. This was a very lively crowd for the Buffalo Jet game here at Giant Stadium. So Burkett, the one-time Buffalo Bill, with the block and able to run it home. Kickoff put on the ground and handled by the tight end Charles Henry with 9 seconds to go in the half. And what's strange about that, the guy who just blocked the punt and scored a touchdown just made the tackle on the kickoff coverage. And as I said, when you got receivers doing these special teams jobs, you've got depth on your team that a lot of teams don't have. Usually it's just defensive backs and linebackers and backs that are doing it. But these receivers that can do that are a tremendously valuable asset to a coaching staff. And Mr. Stats, Elliott Cow pointing out, Al Roberts very happy about that block punt. The last time the Dolphins had a block punt return for a touchdown was back in November of 1980. The LA Rams pulling it off. Final seconds of the half. Marino stepping up. And Clayton broke a tackle, gets to the 35. Time running down. And Miami finally gets the timeout called with 1 second remaining.
Well, this is what Marino wanted to do the series before. Just make one play. Now he's got a shot at a field goal. I'm certain that Stojanovic will try it from here.
26-yard pass play. And here comes the field goal unit out of the field with 1 second left in the half. Pete Stojanovic hit from 33 yards away. In the first quarter, he's 6 for 6 for the season. Last week, 3 out of 3 against Green Bay, including one from 52 yards away. This is a 54-yard attempt, and as I mentioned earlier, his career high is 59, and that was accomplished here at Giant Stadium. He has an angle to the right.
Well, he's got a lot of wind behind him today here. I know there's wind in this stadium, quite obviously, and I think with his leg, he's got a shot to make this one.
This from 54. Secules will put it down. The spectacular kicking of Pete Stojanovic continues. They now call it officially a 53-yard field goal. Bruce Coslett not pleased as the 26-yard pass play from Marino to Clayton set it up, and then Stojanovic able to throw it home from 53. At halftime, the Jets out across the 15-yard line. The Jets with a 21-13 lead on the Dolphins. A look at the Keystone halftime statistics, and the Jets with an advantage in most categories, including time of possession. So the Jets have come back well coming off the bizarre game against Chicago on Monday night. A game that saw Bruce Coslett take some media criticism for those 2 critical calls, running the ball with Blair Thomas eventually fumbling, and then Pat Leahy going for the field goal on first down. This is Higgs out to the 24-yard line. Has Coslett been dealt with in a fair manner this week?
Well, you know, he has enough to worry about, Mark, without worrying about what the press is thinking. I don't really think so. I think he made the right decisions, and they're on him about some things that just were misfortune. It didn't work out. I don't think they treated him right. No.
Bill, as a coach, did you resent media criticism?
I think when I first started coaching, I did, but you kind of get used to it a little bit, and you adapt to it, and really the most important thing is you don't take it seriously after a while.
Don't take it seriously. Second down and 2 on the 24. And Higgs finding the opening. Picks up the first down. Mo Lewis, the rookie out of Georgia, making the stop. Most coaches, as you know, do take it seriously and hold grudges. Now, you know that so.
Well, you know, there's some guys in the newspaper business that have been known to hold grudges on coaches, too. So, you know, if the coach isn't quite as cooperative as they think he should be, sometimes he can't let his prejudice against the coach, you know, just subside and be professional about it. They have to get their say in, too. So it works both ways.
First down at the 29-yard line. Minute and a half gone by in the third quarter. Off the play action. Marino able to step up and throws one off the mark. Intended for Mark Duper. I got the idea that at times you would try to intimidate the media.
Well, if I felt like I could get a message to my team and I could use the media to do it, from time to time I might try to use that resource. It's
using the media
as a resource that's available to you.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to act to your detriment. It could act to your benefit as well.
I see. Was there a them against us mentality that you were seeking?
Well, you got to get your team against something. Sometimes the media is as good as anything.
Good play by Lewis all over Higgs. These days, are you them or us?
Well, good buddy up here. I guess I'm one of us.
Yeah, right. Mark Higgs, the starter once again at running back, although Sammy Smith off IR has been spotted. And now the rookie from Fresno State, third-round draft pick, Aaron Craver has come on. It's a third down and 10 at the 29. Marino is only 2 for his last 8 after the good start. Look out. Jets try to strip the ball. It was knocked free. And we'll have to see if the play was whistled dead. Big rush by the Jets. It will be Miami ball. Jeff Lageman will get credit for the sack, his 4th of the season.
Of course, Lageman's kind of turned into the Jets pass rush leader now, and they're looking for him to provide the spark, and you know, he's been doing it very well. You know, they put him on the other side now, away from Richmond Webb there. They're rotating him, so they're not sure where he's going to be able to line up, and he got a good rush. You know, not too many guys can rush from both sides.
And here is Roby. His last punt was blocked. Mathis was waiting for it. And it will be down at the 44. A 38-yard punt. We'll be back in a moment.
35 yards on.
Hertz, we're America's wheels.
Welcome back to Giants Stadium in the New Jersey Meadowlands. The Jets with a 21-13 lead on the Dolphins. And the Jets first down from their 44-yard line with 3 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Katie Boyer in motion. O'Brien off the play action. Rob Moore again. Gets to the 35. Stopped by Reichenbach and Jackson.
All right. Well, you see more. This is the same. This is on top of the screen here. This is the same play that the Jets started the game with. And they're going to make the play action fake to the strong side. Moore's going to come across, and he's going to lay it over the linebacker's head. And strangely enough, the first play of the game, first play of the second half, same play to Moore.
6th catch of the day for 95 yards. That went for 21. It's a 1st and 10 at the 34. And here's Blair Thomas. Getting inside the 30. Tripped up by the nose tackle, Brian Sauché. Let's check out the Hertz 10-minute ticker. First, the early games. Final scores: Buffalo 35-20 over Chicago. Dallas knocking off the Giants. New Orleans maintaining the unbeaten record. Detroit with the victory. Raiders on top in the third. Kansas City with the lead. Rams extend over Green Bay. Phoenix in front of New England, and Seattle 17-3 over the Colts. In the third, 2nd and 6 for the Jets. Again, Boyer peels off. On a reverse, it's Mathis. Misty Jackson made the stop. Beautiful fake, and Terrence Mathis able to go for 19.
But you got to be impressed with the versatility of the Jet wide receivers. I mean, it seems like every receiver that gets his hand on the ball can make a big play for him. And here you see Thomas on an easy reverse, and of course they're peeling back, and Mathis got great speed and down on the corner here by himself and almost gets it all the way in.
Terrence Mathis, 6th-round draft pick last year, in his 2nd season out of New Mexico. Jarvis Williams, the Dolphins' strong safety, shaken up. There's Jarvis. Check that. Michael Magruder, number 28, being helped off. Looks like he's all right. And the Jets with a first down just outside the 10.
Well, all the momentum here has been on the Jets side for a very, very long time in this game. Other than that 3-point field goal that kind of gave Miami a little ray of hope, this has been a one-sided game from the end of the first period. So right now, and of course, Miami needs to hold them to 3 here if they're going to do much the rest of the day.
Thomas for a short pickup. Brian Cox, outside linebacker, making the stop. Brian Cox, a rookie from Western Illinois, edged out E.J. Jr. for the starting job in the absence of one of many Miami holdouts, Hugh Green, who came in late, came in just prior to game 2. E.J. Jr. was a hero of Brian's while growing up in St. Louis. There is Hugh Green, the 11-year man from Pittsburgh, who has not been getting the playing time. 2nd down and 8. O'Brien fires to the outside, intended for more. A.B. Brown on the cover. Ken O'Brien is now 13 for 17, 184 yards. He has had an exceptional day.
Well, he seems to have really settled down from Monday night. He was a little high and a little wild, and of course he was criticized a little bit for a couple of throws, but he's been very, very accurate, as I said earlier in the game today, and is having an outstanding day. Here's a big play for him here right here, though.
Did not have a good one on Monday night. 16 for 30, 1 point of the first half, had a string of 7 straight incompletions. He's looking at a 3rd down and 8. And throws to the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Moore, who was facing double coverage.
Had one little chance to get the ball in there, and he knew he had to gun it, so he threw it just a little high. You see Moore's going to come down, try to get across the end zone line and stop. Now there's 2 guys, and of course Kenny guns it, and it's just a little bit high. He might have had a chance to get in there, but it would have been close.
And Pat Leahy will attempt from 25 yards away. He missed earlier from 44. His prior attempt was the miss against the Bears. And this one is good. Leahy extends the Jet lead over Miami to 24-13. To the days of the American Football League back in 1966. Miami won both games last year. Over the years, these 2 clubs have put a lot of points up on the board. Miami has won the last 3 against the Jets. And the Jets lead at 24-13 with 9 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Good kick. And And Mark Morgan will stay right there. Miami will start from its 20-yard line. Jets have done very well on first down plays. Here's a breakdown. 17 first down situations. They've gone with the run, and they've done it successfully. Bill is what he said. 12 times and 5 passes on first down.
Well, and all 5 of the passes have been play actions off the run fake, which is exactly what you want to be able to do on first down. Run it real well, and then play action like they've been doing to Moore.
Miami, with only 33 yards on the ground on 10 carries, have not been able to get going. Marino's pass, good adjustment by Clayton to step in front of Brim to make the catch. Mike Brim has been spotted with Tony Stargell going down with a twisted ankle earlier in the first half, although Stargell has made his return. Brim is a one-time Minnesota Viking. Vikings head coach Jerry Burns had a strong statement concerning Brim, who was closest to Neil Anderson, who scored that touchdown at the end of regulation against the Jets on Monday. Burns said, Brim killed me all last year as a Viking. Now he's killing me this year. Very, very nice. Marino in trouble and able to get it off, but a short pickup. The catch made by Higgs. Kelly able to cover up.
Marino trying to get something generated for the Dolphins here of a consistent nature. You know, they started the game with a couple of pretty good drives against the Jet defense, but since that time they haven't really done much, and he's trying to get them back on track before, you know, one more score for the Jets here would put this game in a different situation. Right now the Dolphins are still within striking distance if they can get going.
Second down and 6 from the 35. Clayton to the right, Cooper left. And it's to the tight end, Beatty. He has a first down out at the 45, stopped by Brim. Coming into today, Marino had not thrown a touchdown pass the last 2 games. Well, he did connect in the first half with Duper, but that has been it. In 14 meetings against the Jets, Marino had thrown 40 touchdown passes, so he had been lighting it up in prior meetings. A look at the Hertz 10-minute ticker. Seattle now 24-3 over Indianapolis. First down at the 45-yard line. 7 minutes left in the third. Look out. Logging it, not able to get to Marino, who's able to get it away for Clayton. And he caught it out of bounds. The strong safety, Brian Washington, was right alongside Mark Clayton.
Lageman is working on Richmond Webb, takes him up and beats him underneath. Now he goes by Marino. Marino sees him just in time, gets away, and of course you see Sims peeling back and straightening Lageman up there. This guy is a thorn in Miami's side right now.
A thorn?
Yeah.
In their side.
He's worse than that. More than a thorn.
Second and 10 from the 46.
Marino's calling an audible here.
Oh, he tried to slide on it, and Bill Pickel got a piece of it.
The Jets were in an overshifted defense that time, and Marino might have had a play called into that overshift, and he didn't want to run it, so he called the audible and tried to go to the pass.
Marino now 12 for 24, 163 yards. Bill Pickel signed as a Plan B free agent after 8 years with the Raiders. Drawing the start for the injured Scott Mercereau. That's Mercereau to the left. Third down 10. Again, the crowd responds to the Jet defensive unit. Marino able to run out of trouble and completes for the first down. Mark Duper had a comeback. He made the adjustment and then made the catch in front of the left corner, Tony Stargell.
Duper, again, working against Stargell, puts a double weave, and now Duper just adjusts for this on his own. The route's kind of broken, and Marino's flushed out of the pocket. He just throws it, and Duper makes an outstanding catch. Had to reach way back inside there. But that's just a broken pattern that turned into a first down.
Second reception for Mark Duper in his 10th year out of Northwestern Louisiana State. First down at the Jet 41. Marino had the time, and Beatty with the reception. So Greg Beatty with another nice catch. Brian Washington on the stop. That's 3 catches for Beatty. Charles Henry started at tight end against Green Bay last week, and he had 3 costly drops, including the very first pass of the game. The regular tight end, Farrell Edmonds, is on injured reserve, and Charles Henry, who had been cut from the squad, was re-signed, but today Don Shula going with Greg Beatty as the starter.
Well, when Marino can mix it up a little bit, you know, and not just have to go to the wide receivers, it sure helps him as a quarterback to go a couple different places.
Here's Higgs, able to break a tackle. Kyle Clifton and Lonnie Young tripping him up.
Higgs was telling us yesterday that he really doesn't like the toss play as much as he likes the straight ahead plays. You know, he said the toss play is not giving him as many options, and here you see the pursuit almost overruns Higgs, and he tries to cut it back in, but he likes the straight ahead stuff a lot better.
Picked up only 1. It's a 2nd and 9 at the 16. 9th play of the drive.
Here's another audible.
Marino looking at Clayton. Timing pattern for Clayton. Covered by Brim. They bump each other. Clayton was looking for a call.
Clayton fakes that slant pass that they've hit a couple times, and now he's going back to the corner, but Brim plays it very well. That's that inadvertent contact. There's no interference at all there. That's very good coverage by Michael Brim.
3rd down and 9 at the Jet 16. The Jet defensive unit has played very well. They lead the Dolphins 24-13. 4:26 to go in the 3rd. Marino throws, end zone, touchdown! No, it's ruled incomplete. Clayton thought he had it.
This might be a review situation right here.
The Dolphins, understandably, are very upset. Don Shula waiting to see the replay up above. All right, here it is. Oh, I don't know.
That's awful close. I don't know whether I can call that one, but since they call it incomplete to start with now, the chances of them reversing it aren't very good.
Play on the field was ruled an incomplete pass. After review of instant replay, the pass was incomplete. 4th down.
Well, the replay again the replay official must have felt that there wasn't enough conclusive evidence to reverse that call. And in looking at the replay myself, I agree with them. I think that might have been an incomplete pass.
And here is Stoyanovich attempting from 33. Earlier hit from 33 and from 53. Sequels will hold. And Pete Stoyanovich continues his perfection. He's 8 for 8 for the season. The Jets lead by 8. Well, Don Shula and Gary Stevens, the quarterbacks and pass offense assistant coach, in a chat with Dan Marino.
I think I can tell you what that was about. You know, Marino had to pull the ball down about 3 times on pass plays in that drive and improvise, and they're probably talking over the coverages and maybe making some alterations in their passing game, because I'm sure Dan doesn't want to have to pull it down the rest of the day.
That's with a 24-16 lead. Terrence Mathis on the return, trying to dodge Mark Logan. 4:08 remaining in the 3rd. The Jets 24 and the Dolphins 16. We'll be right back.
12-yard return.
In the third quarter, the Jets with the 24-16 lead on Miami, but this is a Jet club the last 2 years that has had major problems in the second half of ball games. Last year, the Jets finished at 6-10. They led at halftime in 11 games. They led after 3 quarters in 7. And the pattern has continued in the early portion of this season. Off the fake, Thomas gets out to the 27. J.B. Brown able to make the stop. Blair Thomas, in his second year out of Penn State, struggled through his rookie season because of nagging ankle and hamstring injuries. That followed a contract holdout, but he's off to the good start this year. It'll be a 2nd down and 8 from the 27-yard line. Blair Thomas was telling us about what they call the gauntlet drill to prevent the stripping of the football. Now that should have been most interesting this week. Thomas is stacked up. Brian Cox on the stop. Steve McMichael, of course, stripping the ball.
Well, what they
Monday night.
Yeah, what they do on that gauntlet drill in practice is they line up 2 lines of guys about 3 feet apart, and then they give the back the ball and they run them down the middle of them. Quite obviously, that's the name gauntlet, and those guys try to pull the ball out and hit them in the shoulder pads and knock them off balance, and it's a good warm-up, kind of get into practice drill, and a lot of teams do that. I know we used to do it a lot during training camp with our running backs.
That's fine. I used to do that around the house with the kids. He said he didn't lose one at all during the week, at least in the gauntlet drill. Thomas broke the tackle. A nifty move by Blair Thomas to surge for the first down. T.J. Turner on the stop. And now the left tackle, Jeff Criswell, is hurt. Jeff Criswell in his 5th NFL season. Man who has allowed only 1 sack the last 10 games. He's had some penalty problems. Bruce Coslett saying it's more mental than physical. He has been very satisfied with his play. At left tackle, it's been Criswell, Cadigan, Sweeney, White, and Eatman up front. And this Jet offensive line has played well.
Here's Criswell here. He's on the left side, and you see Thomas coming in behind him, and it looks like number 99 comes over, and his own guy drives the Miami defender right into Criswell's side. I think it looks like it's going to be a rib injury. You know, it looks like he's ready to get up. You know, whenever they grab above their waist, you always feel a little bit better than when you see them reaching down below their waist. I think he'll be all right.
Trevor Maddich, though, has reported in from the sideline to spell Jeff Criswell. There is Trevor Maddich, 7-year player from Brigham Young, who can play all the offensive line positions, including tight end, where the Jets have used him in goal line and short yardage situations.
He's not home at left tackle, though. His position is center, and I'm sure he feels a little bit on an island. Maybe the Jets will keep a tight end over here with him. Sure enough, they got the tight end on his side right now.
4 left and 2 right. First down for the Jets from their 35. O'Brien for 2. Short on the first down. He was stopped by the free safety, Lewis Oliver, the chant of tune from the crowd. Now here's Criswell reporting back. 4th catch for Tune. It is a 2nd down and 3 at the 42-yard line. We're approaching a minute and a half remaining in the third quarter. Jets trying to bounce back from the loss in overtime on Monday night. Miami, a club that has been struggling offensively. They beat Green Bay last week, but did not play well. A 16-13 win for Don Shula's 300. And the first down collected by Baxter. Running well, he broke tackles and really was able to shake off Oliver.
Well, you get the sense that Miami's defense here is right on the verge of getting ready to crack. You know, they've had a rough day. They haven't really been able to stop the Jets for most of the day. Baxter loose in the secondary. You know, Thomas is hurting him, Moore's hurting him, Toone's hurting him. They haven't really gotten it going, and you kind of get the feeling watching them that they're really ready to crack.
Let's have a first down at the Dolphin 44. Time running down in the third quarter. Baxter reaching out to the 41-yard line with a half minute to go in the third. And the Jets have run well, 119 yards on the ground. Miami with only 34. Miami has had difficulty stopping the run. Thurman Thomas of Buffalo, 165 yards. Earlier this season, Barry Sanders of Detroit chalked up 143. And the crowd reacting to the play of the Jets as this third quarter comes to a close. The Jets 24 and the Dolphins 16. We'll be back after these words from your local station.
Block here instead of Blonde.
Fourth quarter is underway. Marv Albert, Bill Parcells from the New Jersey Meadowlands. The Jets 24, Dolphins 16. Second down and 6 from the 40-yard line. O'Brien for the tight end Boyer, and he has the first down.
Kenny called an audible there, and apparently he spotted something and was able to get the ball over the middle to his tight end Boyer. Now, I, as a coach, never like to throw the ball in that area of the field because too many bad things usually happen, but he got away with it.
That's right. That's a no-no for the very conservative but successful style.
No, that 8-yard area right over the ball down the field. I didn't want anything going in there.
There's a first down at the 31 as we get started in the fourth quarter. Now the lone deep back is Freeman McNeil.
And he called another audible.
McNeil gets to the 26, tripped up by the left defensive end, Alfred Oglesby. Freeman McNeil, the Jets all-time leading rusher. Over the years, he has had some huge games against Miami, including his first 100-yard day. That was back in 1982. He picked up 6. It is a second down and 4. Altoon is to the left. Rob Moore to the right. McNeil alone set back. McNeil on the draw. Short on the first down. Reichenbach and Offerdahl combined for the stop. A look at the tracer, 10-minute ticker. First, the early games. These are the final scores. Who do you feel right now is the best team in the National Football League?
Right now, I feel like the Washington Redskins are the highest scoring team in the league. They've got the best special teams production in the league right now without question. And their defense looks improved. But their special teams are the big things for the Redskins. Their field goal kickers 9 out of 10, and they have the leading punt returner.
The injured player is Brian Cox. We'll take a timeout. Back after these words. Sideline replaced by Hugh Green. 10th play of the drive. It's a 3rd and 1 down at the 22, and it is O'Brien looking for the first down. He has it. Ken O'Brien on the keeper.
What the Jets would really like to do is drive it in. I know you want to score a touchdown every time, but you know, at this time in the game, if they can get to 31, you know, that makes the Dolphins have to score 2 touchdowns and at least a field goal to beat them. And I don't think they're going to have enough time to do it if the Jets can get it in from here. O'Brien 7 for 7, 100 yards.
And on first down situations, Ken O'Brien overall 16 for 21, 205 yards. And off to Baxter. And he is smothered at the 19-yard line. David Griggs, John Offerdahl combining to make the stop. And there's Brian Cox, the rookie from Weston, Illinois, who was forced out just a moment ago. He has emerged as the starter in the absence of Hugh Green, who came in late after holding out, and now Hugh has checked in, replacing Cox at the outside linebacker position. Second down at 9 at the 19. The Jets 24, the Dolphins 16. Play action, and O'Brien throws off the roll, and let's see what the call is. It is ruled a completed pass. Chris Dressel was able to maintain possession inbounds, covered by Louis Oliver.
Dressel right on the sideline there. He didn't play last week, but the ball's there. There's one foot, and he drags the other one. There's no question that's a completed pass.
Dressel inactive last Monday night because of a sprained ankle. Spent 4 years with Houston, then on to San Francisco, Cleveland, Kansas City. This is third year with the Jets. Third down and 5. 13th play of the drive. And we get a timeout call. Timeout taken by Miami.
You see what happens when you lose a linebacker like that. They may have had a defensive package ready to go, and now the other guys don't know who the coach wants to substitute in that defensive package, so they had a little problem there. Had to call a timeout.
Stadium, 4 minutes into the fourth quarter. A long drive executed by the Jets. This the 14th play of the drive. The Jets with an 8-point lead on the Dolphins. O'Brien with the time. Chris Burkett broke the tackle. Worked his way between Oliver and Brown. What a game for Chris Burkett, not only as a receiver, but remember late in the second quarter, he blocked a punt by Roby, was able to pick it up and run it in.
Well, Burkett starts in, and this is called a read delay pattern, and he bends it in and then reads the zone coverage and then just works back away from it, and O'Brien's able to get him the ball. Now, these Jet receivers are having a day today, believe me.
Poor tackling by the Dolphins, in particular in the second half. It's a first and goal at the 3. Burkett in motion. O'Brien off the roll. It is broken up. Rusty Jackson got a piece of it. The pass intended for Chris Burkett.
Well, the Jets tried a little trickery here. They shifted out of their goal line formation, then made a quick motion with Burkett coming across, and then they ran a little pick pattern here. I can't use that word. That's against the rules, but they try to spring Burkett loose, but Bestie was right there to make the play.
You can't use the word
well, it's
against the rules?
Well, it's a common thing. Everybody runs that play on the goal line.
It is a second and goal at the 3. Baxter and McNeil, the running backs. 87 Burkett in motion. And here's Baxter. Touchdown. And once again, the strong second effort by Brad Baxter. It appeared the Dolphins had him, but he kept going for the score.
You notice they're staying on that right side again with Eatman and Dwayne White and Jim Sweeney. And those three guys together are, in combination, are, I think, as good as any trio in the league right now. They're
really,
yeah, they're very able run blockers, particularly.
Very high praise. And Leahy able to put the extra point right through. 15 plays, 77 yards, and the Jets have the ball for 8 minutes and 51 seconds.
Well, this is the same play that the Jets ran for the first touchdown with Baxter. You see Eatman and White come off. Baxter sees the crack, and he just splits 2 Dolphins. Now, there's no excuse for the Dolphins not keeping Baxter out of the end zone right there, but to his credit, he just overpowered 2 defenders on the goal line, and that's a big spread now. That's 3 points or 2 touchdowns and a field goal it takes to beat him now.
We're set for an update, and before we go to the kickoff, here's Bob Costas.
Marvin, Seattle rookie Dan McGuire played the first half. Seahawks led 17-3, but he wasn't all that effective. Veteran Jeff Kemp comes in, throws a touchdown pass in the second half, then caps this drive by handing to Derek Fenner, who goes 10 yards for the score. Seattle is romping. The Colts will be 0-5. Indy trails 31-3.
All right, Bob, the Jets now lead the Miami Dolphins 31-16, 10:25 remaining. In the fourth quarter, Brad Baxter scoring his second touchdown of the game. The Jets lead the AFC in time of possession, and they are adding to that statistic here this afternoon. Aguilar getting set to kick it to the combination of Aaron Craver and Mark Logan. Louis Aguilar, first-year player from Utah State, by way of Barcelona in the WLAM. Logan out to the 20. Out across the 30-yard line. A good return by Mark Logan. Mike Brim made the stop.
Brought down by Mike Brim.
A look at the 10-minute ticker. In the later games, Raiders down 12-3 in the fourth. Kansas City on top. Rams over Green Bay 23-14 in the fourth quarter. Phoenix involved in a battle with New England, and Seattle walloping Indianapolis. First down at the 32-yard line, and Dan Marino will be firing away. Down by 15. And he is smothered. Dennis Byrd with his second sack of the season. The Jets with their third of the day.
Some kind of missed assignment on the left side of the Miami offensive line, because Byrd was unblocked that time and just ran free past Keith Sims. Really didn't make a very good effort to hold him out. That's what you kind of call a gimme sack right there, like a gimme punt for us.
I understand. Dennis Byrd last year led the Jets in sacks with 13 and won against Chicago on Monday. Well, Tony Martin given much cushion to work with. James Hasty on the stop. 9:40 remaining in the fourth quarter. And Marino is looking at a third down and 13.
Well, the Jets just have to be patient here and not give Marino the quick score. They have a perfect down and distance to try to get him off the field. Third and 13 right here.
Again, Marino was in trouble. Jets say incomplete. Mark Cooper with a terrific effort. And the call is incomplete. He was covered by Tony Stargell. This crowd is sparked.
Well, again, you know, the initial coverage by the Jets, very good. Marino has to pull it down again. Can't quite get it up the field on the run to Duper, and the ball bounces short. It's incomplete.
Reggie Roby will punt from the 15. Look out. Chris Burkett was in his face. Got one earlier. Here's Terrence Mathis. And he is stopped at the 28-yard line. 48-yard punt, 7-yard return. Bobby Harden made the tackle. Artistic shot by our crew, headed by producer David Michaels and director Andy Rosenberg. A look from across the Hudson at Giant Stadium in the New Jersey Meadowlands. 76,000 plus on hand. 9:02 to go in the fourth quarter, and the Jets lead the Dolphins 31-16. Here's Freeman McNeil. Yeah, he broke a tackle. And another. Freeman McNeil. Finally run out by Vesty Jackson. He went for 58 yards. And he feels it.
Freeman makes a real nice read here, and of course gets against the grain, and there's some traffic, and he breaks loose, and of course now it's just a foot race, and Green's chasing him. Now Freeman looks like he's run out of a little gas there, and they run him down.
Freeman McNeil in his 11th year out of UCLA has been spotted. Well, with Blair Thomas getting most of the work. Confusion on the snap, and O'Brien decided to cover up, but you see the penalty flags. There have been very few penalties here throughout the game.
Before the snap, illegal snap, number 53, 5 yards, still first down.
That is the center, Jim Sweeney. Well, Freeman will rest on the sideline after going for 58. Get the idea his teammates are all over him.
Oh yeah, but they're happy for him too, because of course Thomas has taken the job really, and Freeman's a supplementary guy now, and they're always happy when a guy in that role can come in and do something big like that. It gets everybody excited.
It is a 1st and 15 at the Miami 18. 8:15 remaining in the fourth. Baxter inside the 15. That run by Freeman McNeil going 58 yards. The second longest run in his illustrious NFL career. His longest since back in 1985. His longest run, a 69-yard sprint. 2nd down and 10.
Well, the Jets will take as much time as they can from here out. You know, of course, Marv, you know me. If I was in there, the sound you would have heard would be the knife going into the football and the air coming out.
The Jets do not want to see the gunslinger Dan Marino back on the field.
No, don't give him an opportunity.
Here's Thomas. He found the opening. Runs it to the 7. The strong safety, Jarvis Williams, on the stop, and the Jets continue to run at will against the Dolphins. As we mentioned earlier, Miami has had big problems against the run.
But more than that, the Jets are getting rid of an awful lot of frustration that's built up over the last 3 weeks. You know, the 3 losses in a row, 2 playoff teams from last year. This is the 3rd playoff team they're playing. They're unloading a whole bucket full of frustration right now.
Jets have now gone 202 yards on the ground. 3rd down and 3. As we come up on 6.5 to go in the 4th quarter. Inside handoff for McNeil. And he is turned back, reaching out near the 5. Ran into Chuck Klingbeil, the nose tackle, first-year player from Northern Michigan. And it appears the field goal unit will check in for this 4th down and about 2.5.
Well, they'll let the clock run all the way down here, or maybe even take a penalty. I don't know whether they'll take a penalty or not, but they'll let that clock take as many seconds as they can off the clock before they let Leahy kick this one.
And this is a 23-yard attempt. Leahy earlier hit from 25. Leahy is 1 for 2. He missed his first attempt from 44 yards away.
They let the 45-second clock expire.
Delay a game on the offense, 5 yards. Still 4th down.
That's a little unusual, moving yourself back for the field goal.
I would think the idea is that Leahy will have a better angle.
Well, coincidentally, the ball's on the 11-yard line, and that's exactly where it was Monday night on that. Well, they're calling it 27. It's just across the 10-yard line, but
it was a dramatic point on your part, though.
Thank you, Mark.
Very nice. Officially, they're calling it a 27-yard attempt. He puts it right through. Leahy 2 for 3 for the game. And the Jets now lead 34-16. And we'll swing around the scoreboard. Look at the 10-minute ticker. Early games, victories by Buffalo. Dallas over the Giants in Dallas. New Orleans goes 5-0. Detroit with a 31-3 thumping of Tampa Bay. And the late games, Raiders in front of San Francisco. Kansas City now by 1 over San Diego. Rams leading Green Bay in the fourth. Phoenix opening up against New England, and Seattle walloping Indianapolis. Jets trying to make it a record of 2-3. They have beaten Tampa Bay, lost to Seattle, then Buffalo and Chicago. It'll be teed up once again, while Miami comes in at 2 up and 2 down. Last Sunday they beat Green Bay 16-13, but again a struggle for the offense, only 37 yards on the ground, and the Dolphins have struggled once again here today. One touchdown thrown by Marino. He's 0 for his last 2 games. Here's Craver on the return, getting across the 30-yard line. Chris Burkett, who has been all over the field in many capacities, made the stop. And looks like Craver suffered a cramp after going 17 yards on the kickoff return. Well, a look at next Sunday's schedule, an NFL doubleheader here on NBC starting at 12:30 Eastern Time. NFL Live hosted by Bob, and then it will be the Jets and the Browns in Cleveland. Denver plays Houston, Miami, New England, Seattle, Cincinnati, the late games, San Diego, and the Los Angeles Raiders. We suggest you check your local listings. 5.5 remaining in this fourth quarter. Marino now 15 for 30, 207 yards. He has cooled off after a fast start. Only 8 for his last 19. He pegs one. Tony Martin. Nice moves by Martin. Breaking tackles. The one-time New York Jet, Tony Martin, finally hauled down by Darrell Davis, but he went 32 yards on the play, and Davis is hurt.
That's what they call a flanker screen. It's a run-and-shoot play that has evolved. And you see it's a quick throw to the flanker. The other 2 receivers just go block their respective defenders, and Martin comes down against the grain. Now, this is the fastest guy on the Dolphins here, and Don Shula was telling us yesterday, hey, this guy can make a big play for us, and sure enough, this is as close to a big play as Miami's had the second half.
Tony Martin out of Mesa College in Colorado. In his second year in the NFL, he was a 5th-round draft pick of the Jets, coming up with his 3rd catch of the day.
Well, here you see they're going to throw it out to this guy Martin real quick. These guys are going to come off and try and block their respective defenders. They're going to get a couple linemen out here, and Martin's going to come back after he catches the ball and go against the grain. So it's a subtle way to get the receiver the ball on a screen with guys in front. There you see the receivers, and now there are the linemen acting as a shield. Here you see 1, 2, 3 linemen downfield blocking for Martin as he comes against the grain, and it provides a little wall. It's almost like a punt return.
And Tony Martin able to break a couple of tackles along the way. Darrell Davis finally got him down. Now Davis is hurt. Darrell Davis in his second year out of TCU. He had a big game last year in Houston, awarded the defensive game ball. All right, here's a look at how Davis got hurt, wearing number 98. Has the wraps on Martin. It's up to see, unless Martin landed on him or one of his teammates.
Martin's knee might have come down on him under that pile there, but you know what's a good sign there is look at the hustle. Davis was involved in the pass rush, rushing against Marino, and now you see him 40 yards down the field making the tackle on the receiver after the ball is completed. Now, that's real good hustle, and it's what the defensive line coaches like to see their linemen do after the ball is thrown, get back down there and help on the play. Jets have to be careful not to give Marino the quick score right here. An onside kick or two could turn this game back very quickly if he could get in the end zone. Jets have to be patient, make them earn it.
First down at the 37. Penalty flag is down. And Marino with a free play is picked up. Oh, it's dropped. Don Boyd Odegaard with the shot at it, but could not hang on. The pass intended for Mark Duper.
Marino just took a chance there. He knew the Jets were
Defensive
offside.
left in offside, 5 yards, still first down.
That is Jeff Lageman who jumped. You know, Lageman seemingly has increased his first step quickness off the line of scrimmage. That's what the coaches tell you. Is that possible? Can you do something about your quickness?
When you first come in the league, you don't know what it takes to play in terms of training, conditioning, stamina, endurance, all those things you have to find out. It looks like Lageman has watched enough film and worked, enough now and had enough good competition that he knows what to do now, and it makes a big difference for a guy. Some guys never find out.
Duper picking up the first down. Also, the double teaming of Dennis Byrd that may have helped Lageman at the start of the season. More respect for Byrd coming off the 13 sacks of a year ago. First down at the 25. Marino is hauled down for the fourth time. Marvin Washington, the left defensive end, number 97, collects his second sack of the game.
You know, this is very unlike the Dolphin offensive line, which has the reputation of being the best protected line in the league over the years, but they're in this situation, and the Jets are really putting big-time pressure on them.
Second down and 12. Dolphins in a hurry up, and Marino throws across the field, intended for Clayton. Ryan Washington on the coverage.
That must be the 5th time, though, that Marino has had to pull the ball down because of the rush and scramble out of the pocket. That's very unlike Dan Marino. He doesn't like to do that.
Marino in week 1 threw 3 touchdowns against Buffalo, but he's managed only 2 touchdown passes the last 4 games. And the crowd urging the Jet defensive unit on. 3rd and 12, and it's intercepted. Eric McMillan goes all the way. Well, Eric McMillan was quoted in yesterday's New York Newsday saying that he feels he has been wronged by the Jets in losing his starting job. In his rookie year, he intercepted Marino 3 times. And he comes up with the interception here for the touchdown. Leahy and the extra point for a 41-16 lead. Eric McMillan beaten out by Lonnie Young, the veteran by way of the Cardinals, because the coaches felt that McMillan was not a strong tackler. Now, he disagrees. To his credit, he has not complained, at least until the story yesterday, and has played very well on special teams.
Well, yes, he has. You saw him break out of the middle of the field there, and he had just a good read. Marino must have stared down the receiver a little, and Eric just got an outstanding break on the ball and went right across, and of course he just outran all the Dolphins there for the touchdown. And again, what you're seeing here is a lot of frustration on Marino's part, but the alleviation of that on the part of the Jets.
And Houston 5, Atlanta to within half a game of the Dodgers, who host the Giants tonight.
All right, Bob, and back at Giants Stadium, Eric McMillan just a moment ago won 83 yards on the interception to propel the Jets to a 41-16 lead. Mark Logan had difficulty handling the kickoff, and the flag has been thrown for McMillan.
Kickoff out of bounds, 30 yards from where it's kicked, 1st and 10 on the 35.
For McMillan, it is the 4th time he has returned an interception for a touchdown over his 4-year career, and the 2nd time against that man, Dan Marino. Eric McMillan went to the Pro Bowl his first 2 seasons and then lost the starting job this year.
Well, Miami, of course, has replaced their Dan Marino now. The game's out of reach, and there's no use exposing him, so they're going to give their backup quarterback, Scott Secules, a little time. Secules is a young guy that we like very much in the draft. I remember sent Ron Earhart down there to see him and scout him, University of Virginia quarterback.
In his 4th season, Secules completes to Cooper out to the 43-yard line. Out of 3:45 remaining in this 4th quarter. McMillan made the stop. When the season started, Scott Mitchell was considered as the number 2 quarterback behind Dan Marino. Mitchell was the holder for Charlie Bauman, who was handling the place kicking in the absence of the holdout Pete Stoyanovich. But when Stoyanovich came back, and Bauman did an excellent job, but when Stoyanovich came back, he was more comfortable with Secules, and I think that helped his cause. Also at the quarterback position, late on that reception, Secules, you mentioned, out of the University of Virginia in his 4th year. The downside, at times, coaches say he's been a little bit hyper. They've tried to calm him down.
Well, the best way to calm a guy down is let him play some and let him get used to the anxiety level. You can see the guy has got a rifle arm. He just thrown 2 rifle shots. His arm is comparable to Marino's in terms of velocity, but, you know, there's a lot more than velocity to playing quarterback.
Scott Miller makes his first catch of the day, and Secules has opened up 3 with just under 3 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter, and the Jets have certainly bounced back from the bizarre defeat in overtime Monday night in Chicago. And you recall they also lost a tough one to Buffalo the previous week, so they will go to 2-3 while Miami Dolphins continue to face a host of questions. Secules on the run and runs it out of bounds, picking up the 1st down. Miami not able to get the offense going once again, and they will drop to 2 up and 3 down. Next week they play at New England, followed by a game at Kansas City. That'll be the 3rd straight on the road, and then they return home for Houston, while the Jets next Sunday will go up against Bill Belichick and the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Bill Belichick, your one-time assistant, who is on hand scouting in person with the Browns, not scheduled this weekend.
And I'm sure he's not liking what he's seen from the Jets. You know, they're looking like a team that might be ready to push themselves in.
Brian with a good-looking stat line, 18 for 24, 221 yards. Troy Taylor has taken over. Here's a look at today's Canon camcorder replay of the game. That'll come up in just a moment. A 2nd and 8 now at the 46. Taylor, who is noted as a good running quarterback, brought down by Hugh Green, short of the 1st down. Now look at the Canon camcorder replay of the game, and the big play with 12 seconds to go in the half. Ruby's punt blocked by Chris Burkett, and he runs it in from 11 yards away, and that opened it up. It put the Jets on top 21-10.
That was the big momentum changer. It's a close game, back and forth, both offenses going right near the half. This Chris Burkett makes this play, and that puts some distance between the Jets and Miami, and of course the Jets just added to it, and Miami couldn't catch it.
Burkett in his 7th year out of Jackson State, and he has excelled on special teams as a receiver with the block punt, and then able to run it in. Well, the Jets have shown they've been able to turn it from one of the toughest losses in the history of the franchise, but it will have no meaning unless they're able to string some victories together.
Exactly right. You know, if they go out there next week and after the week's over they're 2-4, then this one didn't do them any good. But if they can put 3-4 wins together where they get in shape for the second half of the season to make a run at Buffalo or at least at a wild card, then they're making progress. But they have to be very pleased with the way things went today after 3 weeks of frustration.
And the pass incomplete, intended for Rob Moore. Chris Green, rookie from Illinois, 7th round draft pick on the coverage. So Don Shula doing some shuffling. Minute 46 to go in this fourth quarter, and the Jets lead the Dolphins 41-23. How about from the Miami point of view? Don Shula cannot be a happy man. He's looking at a club that is still having its difficulties on the offensive line. The holdouts and injuries really have torn this club apart. They have not been able to catch up. Here's the punt by Aguilar. Scott Miller. Oh, he misjudged. He lost it. Looked like he was having difficulty with the lights, and it is again Chris Burkett on the recovery.
I think the difficulty was a little bit more with the wind here, which is picked up late in the game. And, you know, I can tell you firsthand, the wind in this stadium, unless you know what you're doing, you've got a big problem with it. You see him drifting. Anytime you see a guy drifting like that, he's going to have problems with the punt. They need to have their feet set and not be reaching for the ball.
I would think the Jet coaching staff can pick up the game ball and hand it to Chris Burkett right now.
He's certainly a candidate, along with, of course, Ken O'Brien. But, you know, the sentimental run by Freeman McNeil, that would deserve some mention, too.
And the Jets will just run it out. And at 35, remaining in the fourth quarter. The Jets with a 41-23 lead, and they'll just play the clock down.
Well, you see Bruce Coslet, he's smiling. And Coach Fazio, their special teams, or the linebacker coach, he's smiling, and the players are smiling. You know, it's been about a month since you've seen any smiles over there at the Jets training site in Hofstra. Look at them. Everybody's smiling.
Number 96, Mark Gunn, rookie out of Pittsburgh, defensive end. And once again, Troy Taylor will just kneel down. I did want to mention those Bob Costas fans who usually stay up late are in for a special treat this Thursday. NBC presenting the Later with Bob Costas 3rd anniversary show. Bob will be seen at a special time. That's 11:35 p.m. Eastern Time, following the local news, and you'll see Bob and a wide variety of guests from stage, screen, and the world of music who have stayed up later with Bob over the past 3 years. This Thursday, 11:35 p.m. Eastern, right here on NBC. Now the check will be in the mail from Bob. That's a very fine punt. Well, the crowd reacts as the Jets run out the clock. They defeat the Dolphins by the score of 41-23. The Jets go to 2-3. The Dolphins drop to 2-3. Thanks to our producer, David Michaels, director Andy Rosenberg, statistician, Mr. Stats, Elliot Kalb, who tomorrow celebrates his 30th birthday. The big 3-0 for Mr. Stats. Our spotters, Mike Albert and Frank Sikowski. We'll be right back. 209 rushing yards. Ken O'Brien 18 for 24 for 221 yards. Dan Marino got off quickly, but did not have a good second half. He finished 17 for 33 for 245 yards. Marv Albert with Bill Parcells saying so long from Giant Stadium. Be with us next Sunday for an NFL doubleheader starting 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live. Check your local listings for the games in your